It's getting a little bit chilly, but welcome to our show. And Vincent Wong, founder of Solution on Wheels, with me, the founder of Harbour Times.
Yes, sir.
Andrew Work.
Hey, pleased to meet you.
All right, budget speech just announced.
Yep.
And
my
the
speech here.
the bloody red cover.
Yeah, funny choice of color. Here we've got the supplementary with all the stats in it.
Yep. And
In a little more neutral white, but yeah, red's a funny color for a guy who racked up a $30 billion surplus. Although it could have been higher, except for he shunted some off at the last minute. But let's get into what we think of this budget.
What's your focus?
Okay, there's a few different things that happen in this budget. It's a budget. I think arguably the budget is more important than the policy address. In some ways, in some instances. I think sometimes the things that are in the budget have a more direct in people's lives, especially if they are taxpayers as opposed to tax getters.
Yep.
Right? People who get handouts usually pay attention to both. But for taxpayers, if we're running a surplus, this financial secretary has to give a little
for the government, you don't really need to pass any laws regarding the policy address immediately. But for the policy address, there's this appropriation bill,
Yep.
which if it does not pass, then it will be
big disaster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite horrible.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially when civil servants will not get paid.
Yeah. So theoretically could launch a government shutdown, which the Americans flirt with.
Okay, let's go back to the focus. Focus.
What we're looking at today, there's four different areas that I want to talk about in particular.
Yep.
One was the preamble, the nature of the preamble, the conclusion. I want to talk about spending as a percentage of GDP, the big picture. I want to talk about tax allowances, because that's where it hits your pocketbook, probably. If you're a taxpayer, you'll be interested. And just a few notes on some of the other spending items.
Okay.
So going to the first item, the preamble and the conclusion. This is going to be very interesting for political watchers. This is not the numbers part, right? But if you look at it, John Song, I think he kind of made up for a lot of the sins of omission that were criticized in the policy address. So our chief executive was criticized for not tackling issues head on, for not talking about the current state of Hong Kong, which, the policy address is our version of a State of the Union or a throne speech. But he didn't talk about any of those things, like they never happened. Whereas John Song, he got in there and he really grabbed that bull by the horns. And if you look at it, he starts off, he talks about the recent riots in Mong Kok. He talks about the broader conflicts in society. He talks about how those will play into the economic environment and what impact it'll have. And so this was unusual in that it wasn't in the policy address. And then, he goes through all the other parts that we're going to talk about. And then he comes to the conclusion. And the concluding remarks is really, it's almost like a very political call to arms. It celebrates Hong Kong's history and, being able to thrive in the face of adversity and our strengths and all these types of things. And calling for Hong Kongers to come together to find a constructive way forward, all of which was missing from the policy address. And yet John Song seems to have done it in what is supposed to be a budget speech. So I think that's really interesting.
That's what I want to say is, because right now the policy address is announcing in January instead of October.
Yeah. I
mean, this chief executive wants to announce that in January.
Yes.
Such that the budget can be followed almost immediately.
Yes, which makes sense.
Which makes more sense.
Yeah.
But this also gives the financial secretary a perfect opportunity to make amends.
Okay.
So there is now no reason for the financial secretary not to write a good speech.
Right.
Because he can see what CY Leung has said. Okay, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Okay, I'm going to write this, and this.
Everything the policy address gets criticized for.
Yeah, I will go to...
Don't do that.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
So I think that's one thing. There's another thing he has been doing for many, many years in every budget speech. I don't know whether you realize or not.
Okay.
He always quote someone.
Oh, yes, of course.
Always
always open to the quote.
Always have a quote of the budget.
Yes.
And this year, the quote of the budget.
What was the quote this year?
This year is from JFK.
I blew by it.
In paragraph 176. In the conclusion part.
Okay.
In the conclusion part, where you say, it's almost like our problems are man-made, therefore they can be solved by man.
There you go. Yes. Very
JFK, famous quote by JFK.
Didn't know. He just said a statement
Yeah.
A statesman once said. He said he didn't say which one. Maybe that's why I missed it. That's very good.
He always omit the names. He always asks the reader.
So we got to go look it up.
Yes, he always asks the reader to look it up. I actually asked him.
Yeah.
Face to face in one of the earlier days when he was when he is financial secretary or was in the previous term.
Okay.
I asked him, how come you always omit the name?
The name.
He said, I want people to look it up.
To go look it up.
Yeah,
okay, we're good. Hey, now, but Vincent's already done the work for you.
But it's JFK.
Yeah.
This JFK's quote is almost, you didn't really need to look it up.
Yes.
I mean, when he said it, I knew it immediately. This is from JFK.
Yeah.
You see? So.
Okay. Well,
but,
okay, so that's a good one. All right.
Our problems are man-made. You see?
Yes.
Is he hinting something?
Well,
our problems are one man-made, or our problems are man-made?
Well, yes. Well, he followed that up immediately with, for the problems of Hong Kong, they cannot be solved by anyone else except ourselves. Bringing it back to Hong Kong, not we should be looking to Beijing for help and answers, but we got to solve our own problems. And I thought that was interesting as well.
Okay.
Number 2. Okay. If people want,
that's the preamble and the conclusion, right?
That's the preamble and conclusion.
All right. Part 2.
Now we're going to get into some details. If people want to get more details, what you can do is go to twitter.com/HarborTimes, and we've got everything in there kind of in a notes format. And I'll leave you a copy of that, Vincent, because it'd be helpful for doing research.
Don't worry. If you don't need details, you just once you have a glance, then keep on to watch the show.
Yes, exactly. Get all the analysis and the entertainment. Okay, I am opening up here the supplement and appendices.
Okay, part 2.
Yes. Comparison of cumulative growth in public expenditure with cumulative growth in GDP, and cumulative growth in government expenditure with cumulative growth in GDP, and this is from 97, right, forecast into the future.
Yep. Okay, you can freeze the frame now. All right, okay, go ahead.
Bring it back. So what you'll notice on that is the dotted line that is nominal growth in public expenditure is
spending versus GDP.
Yes.
Right?
Since it looks like the 2008-2009 year, that number has been above the nominal growth.
So basically, what
GDP,
what he's drawing in one sentence is that our nominal growth in public expenditure is now higher than our nominal growth of our gross domestic expenditure.
Yes.
And the gap is
the money we're making.
And the gap is going to widen. That's what you want to say, right?
Well, the gap has been going up.
Yep.
And up and up. And the concern with that is you also saw another one of the notes in there when they talk about, he mentions that the Hong Kong next year he expects expenditure will be over 21% of GDP. Government expenditure over 21% of GDP. There has been kind of an unwritten rule that
by the AOs,
by everybody. I mean, established really at the time of Sir John Copperthwaite.
Yep.
New hashtag JJ Copperthwaite.
Yep. The 20% rule.
The 20% rule, that the Hong Kong government expenditure would not be more than 20% of GDP, and it looks like they're planning for that now. Like everywhere you see that government expenditure growth is above the growth in the economy, means that the government is taking up a bigger chunk of our economy. It means that they are interfering more, they are picking more winners and losers, they are increasing in regulation, they are taking more money out of the economy, because even if we're burning down our surplus, they're either taking the money out now or they're going to have to take it out in the future. And so that is a big concern, and things like that, you know, make me worry. You know, I can't give the financial secretary full marks when I see that going on. That's a big concern, something we should be paying attention to.
Part 3.
Part 3. Okay. One thing we
tax allowances.
We will be, yes, tax allowances. We will be giving them. Everybody likes tax allowances. Everybody likes getting increases in their deductions that they can claim. So what do we got? I'm going to the cheat sheet here, which is very colorful. Increases in basic allowance for single parents. Increases for married persons. That's me. That's you. We're going to get some less tax this year. Increases for maintaining a dependent parent or grandparent. In our Twitter feed, we called it keeping grandma or ditching grandma. Either way, you're going to get to keep more money. You're going to get to claim more back. Ditching grandma means claiming expenses for putting your parent or grandparent in a retirement home. Keeping grandma means allowances you can claim for having them at home. right? So those are good things. Everybody's going to be happy with that. Rate waivers, small businesses, you and I aren't going to have to pay our business registration for a year, and that's a couple of grand. So I'm happy for that. Every little bit helps. So I'm quite happy with those allowances. And those are some of the details. There's a lot more that we can talk about. Yeah, a lot more that we can talk about.
All right.
I guess the big expenditure, there's lots of little expenditures for all the government's pet projects in different industries. And I don't want to go into too much detail there.
Anyway.
It'll be on the website. But the big one, of course, was the one that was in the policy address, was this massive addition of spending for the hospital authority. And they're going to get a whack of new cash, $220 billion spread out over 10 years. That's new hospitals.
Well,
everything.
I understand that one.
Yeah, piles and piles and piles.
Yeah, because that one has been in the policy address a month ago. Okay, now let's go to part 4. Running out of time.
Part 4 is just other stuff. No, we already did part 4. That was kind of talking about the hospital authority.
Part 4 is me.
Oh, you got a part 4. Okay,
yeah, my part 4 is, you know, I'm a preacher of solutions journalism. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm actually thinking this might be the very first budget speech that has been written in the solution journalism format.
Ah, okay, okay. Pray tell.
Because he defined what is the new economic order in the beginning.
Right.
So the financial secretary said there are 2 challenges.
Okay.
One is that the economy is moving to the east, and we have to rely more on the emerging markets.
Right.
And the second challenge is IT revolution that changes our lives.
Okay,
How do we do business?
There was definitely some bumps.
So he talked a lot about how can we enhance innovation and all that.
Okay.
But I think it's not enough. I think the strategy is right in direction, but without enough power.
All right.
To boost it. Especially when...
How much more are you looking for and in what areas?
No, not the money. But when the government said they are going to maintain a technology neutral policy.
Right.
For a small market like Hong Kong, a technology neutral policy is utterly useless.
You think so?
Because a technology neutral policy most likely will benefit the incumbent.
Okay.
Because the incumbent...
Yeah, the incumbents have already...
incumbents has a lot of resources.
Yeah.
And they possibly has control to the majority of the market.
Okay.
So for a big market like the States,
sure,
like the EU or China, then a technology neutral policy would work because you can find out new segments and do it. But for Hong Kong, But for Hong Kong, if you want to find a new segment, the segment possibly will be too small. Yeah. So very difficult. Very difficult.
Yes, I don't.
Having said that,
okay,
if you want to do entirely technology neutral policy,
right,
what he should do is to focus on entirely new sector.
Okay.
Yeah, he is still promoting filmmaking. He is still promoting fashion design. I mean, come on, a technology neutral fashion design industry is basically you're helping the big players.
Yeah.
A technology neutral policy for the filmmaking industry, you are basically protecting the big players.
Yeah, that'll just be more people making
right. I don't think you should do a technology neutral policy if you are going to find some new filmmakers to fight with the old power, right?
Yeah, but are you saying the government should be picking a technology sector like nanotechnology or...
No. I'm saying that the government, if they want to promote technology,
right,
they may say, if you're coming up with, let's say the gaming industry.
Sure. Yeah.
You can say, gaming is a big trend.
Right.
The government will support the gaming industry.
Ah.
Then you can have a technology neutral policy. I'm saying picking the sector, pick a new sector.
Right.
Then you can have technology neutral policy. That's important.
Hold on. So you're saying, because technology neutral means they're not picking the sector.
No, technology neutral means they're not picking the technology.
Ah, okay.
You're not, let's say for example, you're technology neutral in terms of smartphone.
Right.
Then you will let Android phone and iPhones to fight.
Right.
But if you are not doing a technology neutral policy, then you will say, we will favor, let's say, iPhones. Hong Kong will become the hub for iPhone app developers.
Yeah.
Then it is not technology neutral. But still, You did not pick the sector. Picking the sector is a completely different thing. Picking a sector is not technology neutral.
Technology.
Yeah.
I mean, governments are traditionally not very good at picking winners and losers.
I know. I agree.
By technology.
So I'm saying a technology neutral policy for Hong Kong will most likely benefit the incumbent. I'm talking about Uber.
Okay. Well, maybe. I guess we'll have to see.
I'm talking about Uber. Anyway. On top of that, it's one thing I really like. I think the government is doing right this time.
Yeah.
They're going to create I-bonds for the elderly.
The silver bonds.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I have the hair, but not the ears.
I think instead of just giving the elderly money, you should ask them for investment and then giving them more money back.
Sure.
I mean, that's a much wiser move.
At least it's voluntary. I mean, the people can choose whether or not they want to pick up these bonds.
Instead of you just like giving them money, and most likely they will just keep the money instead of spending it. You are actually drawing money out to the market. Yeah,
I think it depends on who you're talking about. If they send it to you give money to low-income people, they spend it.
Yeah,
they kind of have to.
Yeah, but still. If you are going to give out money, even to the lower income group, they will try to save as much as they can.
Right.
Yeah. They will try to save as much as they can. So
as much as they can.
So the psyche is to save as much as they can, but they still have to spend it.
Yeah.
But the I-bond, the silver bond, is a completely different concept. You're drawing money out to the market.
Right.
Which will have a multiplier effect. I think that's a wise move, and I think this is wise, particularly when the public engagement exercise is still going on. I mean, he has not been waiting. He has been thinking. Of course, he can just wait. He can wait until the public engagement exercise on the retirement plan finish. But
this kind of stuff's easy and popular, though, to do the bonds. And if people want the bonds, they can get the bonds. If they don't want the bonds, they don't have to get the bonds.
As you said, it's not compulsory, so I think it's good.
I like that aspect of it. I mean, there's a lot. You know, we'll talk about it again, but and I'll be writing about it for the website Harbour Times. But there's always a lot in the budget for us to go through.
Like us, share us, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, check us out. Like I said, check our Twitter feed because that's like your notes section. And easy for people to pull information out of there. And look for our analysis over the next couple of days at www.harbourtimes.com. Thank you very much for having me here, Vincent.
We will see you on Monday. With more detailed analysis on the budget speech. Plus the by-election results.
Oh yes, of course, by-election this week.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Good work, Andrew.
Hey, great solutions, Vincent. Yeah.